Okay, give me a sec.
Okay. Do I just have the song?
Hey, welcome aboard for another version of the A Game. I'm Rob Akampora from my bunker on the Jersey Shore. To my right, the lady who is somewhere around the Dallas area, I might add, who has a new
Winsboro,
song.
Texas.
We're exactly in Texas now again?
We're in Winsboro, Texas right now.
We're
out on the farm.
Out on the farm. I want to get exactly where that is in a second. Before we even get started, her new single just came down the last couple weeks. Give us the artwork, Christian, on that so people can find it on all the places you can get the single, called House on the Bay, which, by the way, for a guy who lives on the shore, very appropriate. Alex McArtor, welcome, and thank you for bringing your A game here today.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Hey.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So where exactly is this in Texas that you're at? Exactly.
So, you know where Texarkana is?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay, so you keep going straight, and then
Going
you go
straight.
down a few roads, and then you keep going down. You take a right, and there's this one long road with a bunch of cows, and you go down that, take a turn in, and then you'll see my little farm, the hay farm. It sits on a really pretty lake, so it's a beautiful lake. It really is. It's storms, though, man. We had a really bad storm this morning, and we live out on the lake, so we have all our canoes and kayaks and stuff like that.
Nice.
And it was a major Baywatch moment. I wish people were there to see it. But I had to jump in and like grab all this stuff in, and it was mad. It was pretty cool though. Yeah, lake life.
I was about to say, Texarkana, I know where it is. Not everybody has an idea where it is. You're not really near the big cities. You're definitely
this one's off. I mean, I live in Dallas, but then we have the little farm out here, which I've been living out at all summer long since quarantine, actually. So I'm starting to go a little crazy, but it's nice. It's peaceful.
I can understand where that could be a little jarring. As a matter of fact, I was going to go into, as far as the quarantine goes, how have you handled it? I mean, other than just being out on the farm, has it been creative in a sense to create new music, or has it been
You know, I think it has been. It's weirdly being so. I'm not one of those people who are on their phones a lot too. So I kind of put my phone down a lot during quarantine and just was with the family. And I'm in nature pretty much. I'm on a farm. There's not much going on a big city, and so I feel like it kind of brought back this childish imagination that I used to have, and I was out there like playing in the mud and making like flipping houses and stuff like that. So yeah, it's brought back this like childlike imagination, I guess, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's been helpful for music, definitely.
I was about to say, let's keep in mind though, you are still a young lady, no doubt about that.
Yeah, yes, but making mud pies might be a little.
Well, granted, mud pies may be 5 or 6. At 18,
maybe I should have left that out. Maybe that says who I am.
No, I got some photos that will say who you are, but that's another story. We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. Yes, I've been spying on your damn Instagram, but that's another story. So, what would this have been senior year for you for high school this year?
That is senior. Yeah, so this is senior year, but I might graduate a year earlier than all my other buddies. This fall, I know. So I'm kind of deciding right now if I stick out this whole entire year and just take extra classes, especially English classes and like culture and conflict and stuff like that, or if I graduate in fall and just move on with my life. So it's I don't know.
I can see the advantage, though. It seems like you're kind of already ready, having 2 EPs out already, and you want to get maybe to the next level.
Definitely.
And your level's pretty damn good considering no real label, promoting it basically yourself. I mean, you've gotten the word out there. Is this sort of the new way, I think, for young artists, if they don't get on with a label, that you're proven that you can say, yes, you can do it yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been I think I have a pretty cool generation come. I think I have there's a cool crew, you know what I mean, coming back up. And I think you have a bunch of kids who are doing it. They're doing it themselves and getting into politics and like the creative stuff behind it, wanting to put their hands into it. And like, we can do it too. And so I think there's a bunch of young artists right now who know how the whole social media thing works, and they're trying to do it themselves. And they're not taking it that seriously. I mean, I'm not even taking it I am taking it seriously. This is what I want to do till I die.
Right, exactly.
Hard fan of music. But like I told you before this started, but it's like just doing it doing it my way. I want to be in this for a long time. It's not like a short run. I want to be like Mick Jagger on stage where everyone's like, dude, sit down or you're gonna have a heart attack.
Amen.
Jumping around. You know what I mean? That's
yes.
What I want to do. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Alex McArtor's here on the A Game, and doing it yourself, I think, plays to your advantage in one way because you can't really categorize what you are. I mean, I consider you definitely leaning more alternative than anything else. But,
I think so too.
Yeah, but you're not afraid to kind of go in different directions. I mean, you take a song like Where Did My Love Go? There's a bossa nova beat to it. I'm sorry. There is a bossa nova beat going on here.
Yeah,
and I'm going, in a weird way, I'm going, that's alternative to alternative. Hold it.
Yeah, I think also going back to the do-it-yourself, I mean, I have a supportive family too.
Obviously.
Thankful to have a family who are like, you know what, you want to do the music thing? I'm not going to cuss, but like, yeah, you go do the music thing. So I'm thankful for that because a lot of people don't have that. But yeah, no, man, I'm into, like, my mom's an artist. She's always about talking about abstract and how artists should put their hands in different things. And so I kind of grow, and I was listening to all this different type of music in my room all of like 8th grade, 7th grade year, total emo kid in her room, listening to a bunch of music from all across the board. And I was like, you know, I'm going to take my mom's advice and just put my hand in everything. And I think I'll always be evolving for that. I'm too like ADD and like all that to just have put myself in one box. I don't know.
To defend your point about your parents, Christian, there's a great photo of her by the piano. If you can post that up here really for a second. Now, this is in your house, right?
Oh, yeah. This is the Winsboro house. Yeah. That's that piano. Out of tune. That piano is mad out of tune, man. It's awful. I wrote this one song on it, and I thought it was such a good song, but the piano was so out of tune that I went to an actual piano, I was like, this is the worst song of all time. I thought I wrote like a total banger, and it was just awful because the piano is so out of tune, but it's a beautiful piano. It really is.
But I think having that there and having that, like you said, the parents encouraging you to do what you love.
For sure,
I mean, that's one of the major advantages right out of the gate when you have that, because not everybody gets that. You know, some parents may say, and I've heard the stories where they're like,
go be a lawyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I have friends where that's happening right now. It sucks.
Oh no!
I'm like, dude, run away, come over, let's start a
Work
band.
with me. Come on, you'll be a roadie. What the? Now, the other thing you were talking about when you talk about growing up around music and the influences, you don't have the typical influences I would think an 18-year-old would have.
Well,
but go ahead.
A lot of my buddies have those influences too, so I'm not gonna be like I'm interesting in that way because a lot of kids. I mean, but I grew up around it, so.
Right. Well, I saw an article that was written on you, and they were writing down some of your favorite songs, and I thought it was interesting. Here are 4 artists that came up on that list, which I found fascinating. Heart, Chris Isaac. I get the Chris Isaac after hearing
he's my man.
I will tell you.
I had that voice. It's one of the sexiest voices ever. Such a great everything.
And he's got such a great personality. I interviewed him years ago, and it wound up being him and I, a chessboard in an interview. It was bizarre.
Oh, I wish I was there. I love that guy so much.
By the way, he kicked my ass. The guy can play chess. I'll give him all the props in the world.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All right, here's 2 other artists. In Excess. I was like blown away by your choice of. Yeah, and really you picked one of the first songs, Don't Change. I mean,
it's fantastic. They kind of had the whole. I mean, just like you too. I like the earlier stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But like their whole. I don't know. I kind of I know I shouldn't put them in the same deal, but they're both their earlier stuff. I kind of they remind me of each other. But yeah, I mean, I love that band so much.
One more band that was on that list was the Smiths, which I thought was very fascinating too.
Yeah, I think that's a common one. I mean, I think a bunch of sad kids, sad teenagers.
Well,
listen to Morrissey, be a total emo. Man, I watched some interviews with him. What? Oh man, what a guy!
This interview is now proof that from generation to generation, we now know why Morrissey happens. Thank you very much. You have proven it.
No, great band though. I mean, really fantastic band. My dad's a big Smiths fan. So
that's about to ask you. Was it mom or dad who kind of gave that influence? It was dad. Okay.
I think it was dad on that one. Mom was more. I mean, my family's. I grew up in Texas. I bet it's everywhere, but you're growing up with the guitar's always at a party.
Right.
Everyone's that douchey guy who brings the guitar to the party around the campfire scene. Like folk music to country music to rock
Yeah.
music to like R&B, like 80s alternative stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think I had that, but also, I mean, I really dove into the music deal in like my middle school years and locked myself in the room pretty much. And I was like, I'm going to treat this like I'm becoming a doctor and I'm going to learn everything about it. You know what I mean? So I really dove in and I was like, listen, I'm just like, make myself listen to every Smooth song, even if I couldn't stand it. And there was a few I could not stand, but I was like, that's what you got to do. Because you'll find that one line in there and you're like, ooh, okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I will officially say this is musicologist Alex McArtor here on the
Yes.
AM. No doubt about that. When you look at where you're at right now, and normally, being it would have been summer vacation, would this have been a time where you may have hit the road and tried to do some gigs and try to get the word out a little more?
I think definitely. I think that's what was going to happen. And so that was a little bit of a bummer. I was looking forward to that, especially because the last show I played was at the Bardo in Hollywood, and that was amazing.
And when was that? Do you remember what month that was?
I think that was that like in... Honestly, I don't know. Okay. I feel awful for not knowing that.
No. But we're good. It was definitely pre-pandemic.
Honestly, so I don't even remember I don't know what day it is. It's like summer and the whole COVID deal going on.
You're not the only one. Please, I totally
I don't
understand.
know anything. I don't know my name anymore. Man.
Right. It's March 300 and what? I lost track.
But yeah, I'm excited for playing live and stuff. I really enjoy that, especially now. I'm like really craving it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Have you thought about doing some of the virtual concerts at this point?
I did one a few weeks ago, which was fun. I liked that a lot. But there's something about being in a live with seeing people's faces, making people uncomfortable by staring them in the eye.
Sure, of course.
But yeah, that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm waiting for. Definitely, it's like a bottled up energy.
I can imagine that.
Definitely.
I mean, the more I'm talking to you, I don't want to be stereotypical because I don't want to sit there and say, this is not your typical 18-year-old in front of me. But, you know,
because I've been out living on a farm with only myself making mud pies. Like, I'm a total loser out here.
No, I didn't mean it that way. I swear.
No, you're good. No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No. And it's funny because I've read some of the interviews that have been done where that line has come up, not your typical teenager. But it's like, then I try to take it one step further. What is the typical teenager in 2020? You know, especially with the fact that, exactly. I mean, I think
things are changing.
Yes. And that's the point I really want to bring out, that we're seeing a lot, what teenagers did even when I was a teenager and what teenagers are doing now. It's night and day. And I think it's a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also, and I think it's being broadcast. I mean, you can see it more too, because we have phones and stuff like that. But I think for sure, it's interesting. I'm excited. I think there's a cool underground deal about to happen. That's things are just going to change. So I want to be on board with that. Definitely.
What got my attention about you was the song called Party's Over. And I heard that and I just went, all right, first I'm blown away because I'm sitting here going, this is such a mature song. But I also learned that you're into watching movies that influence you in music. And the minute I heard, as I can say, the build up toward the end, and I'm sitting here going, this could have been in a Bond movie. This could have been an end song in a Bond movie.
That's the biggest compliment. I love James Bond. That's what I want to be. Like, I would write down, like, when the teachers would be like, so what do you want to be when you're older? I was like, spy. I was like, I don't know how to. I would go on like Wikipedia and be like, how to become a spy.
A spy, that's great.
It's the coolest deal. My friend Vera and I, my really good buddy, she still wants to do it. She's still having on that dream.
Oh, wow.
I was like, where do you want to go to college? She's like, I still want to figure out how to be a spy. I'm like, okay, dude. Go do that.
Go do it. Come on, you live once. Do it.
She's great, though. But yeah, movies. I love movies. I grew up taking film classes. I'm a really visual person. And so I pull up photographs and then I write to them. And it's kind of this weird deal. Sometimes it sounds super weird. And I feel like a total weirdo for saying this. But sometimes if you sing to the photograph, I see the photograph as a scene in the movie. And it's kind of like the soundtrack to the photograph, and you can watch the photograph move, and then I know a song's done. It's a weird process.
No, I don't think that's weird, because when I was growing up getting into this business, the first thing they were teaching you at times was like to try to put a photo in front of you, try to talk to that person, and try to connect. So you're doing basically the same thing. You're just trying to connect it with a movie as opposed to one individual thing, and you're expanding upon your vision while you're watching this clip or this scene, let's say.
Definitely.
And if it helps to create a process, And
It is.
obviously,
It's stuck, especially because at the time that was going on was it's the middle school years. And I was in, especially my 8th grade year, man. But it was really locking myself in my room and trying to do the music thing. But with that, which is really great growth and learning, it's a kind of an isolation too. And so I think it's like, I'm not trying to put myself down, but the movies kind of became friends in a way.
Sure.
And so the photographs became friends. So I wrote to them as if I was creating their story, and they were my friend.
Right.
But it's stuck now.
No,
and
you
I
make
still do with experiences now. Yeah.
Right. You're making that one-on-one connection with that film, with the character, with the characters, let's say.
Definitely.
And by doing that, you've established this thing. And it, like I said before, if it helps the creative process, that's a great thing.
It does. Yeah. I think it's great. I think everyone should be writing. It's like connecting the two, because film and music, they're like brother, sisters. So I think they should be.
So after your reaction about Bond and talking about movies, is the ultimate goal at some point in your career, no matter how big you get, you're getting on a motion picture soundtrack or you're scoring a movie, you want to do that?
I would love to do that. I think the goal is one day, hopefully, to make a film myself, even if it's the crappiest film ever. But that's like, I don't even care. Like, people can give me like whatever on Rotten Tomatoes, but I really want to make a film one day. Like, my deal is I love music, I love film, I love them both. So it's kind of like, which one do I do? But yeah, hopefully, even if it's on like my deathbed, I want to have one film. And so I'm always carrying, like, it drives my friends crazy. I always have my little film camera, like, following them around. So I'm like, one day this is going to work out in my movie, and I'm going to use y'all in my movie. But yeah, no, man, I want to be a Bond girl though, but like a cool Bond girl, where like almost like where James Bond, like, nah, like I have my own movie. You know what I mean?
You're more the Michelle Yeoh type. You want to be a Bond girl who can kick ass, basically.
Yes, he kicks James's ass.
There you go. You're Michelle Yeoh. There you go.
Definitely. But no, I love those. I love spy movies. That's my thing. For sure. Yeah.
Alex McArtor here on the A Game. And by the way, my engineer Christian Cordes is a filmmaker, so I think you two will have to have a long talk after this is over. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Dorky together.
Yeah. The man's shooting pilots right now. He's sitting there probably just nodding, going, "Yeah, I may have to talk to this woman at some point for sure." All right, up to my point where I do random shots. These are just random questions based on some of the deep dives on your, let's say, social media. And by the way, before we get into random shots, since we were talking about Parties Over, and we're talking about creation in film. Obviously, you love doing the video process. You enjoy.
Yes.
Okay. With that being said, Christian, there is a one photo where she's standing there in a hat and just shooting the bird. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to wrap up a video. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that's method acting right there.
Mom didn't like that very much, but
I'm sure Mom's like, "Oh, we invested this much in her, and she's got to give the finger at the end." Really? Really? I mean, if she was younger, we would have grounded her, but we can't now.
I know.
How would that look?
My parents are supported. They're like, whatever, do your deal.
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah, because you pitched it at
what
TMZ.
Extent, though?
Yeah, because you put it out in TMZ. Alex McArtor's tour canceled because she's been grounded for 3 weeks. Boy, that would
might be a few more of those. Who knows?
All right. As I'm discovering a bit of an old soul, so as an appreciation in music, I wanted to know, what is the best piece of vinyl? Not a CD, not a cassette. We're talking record in your collection.
Man. See, I'm bad at this stuff because I'm going to be thinking about this for 30 minutes, and then it's going to be pure silence. I'm going more Neil Young right here.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Let's think.
Because I was going, all right, what's in my vinyl collection? Because I'm like going, if we match up, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised.
I'm actually thinking right now, let's think, do I want to do Neil Young right now? Let's go.
As she thinks about her collection, it goes through her head.
It has to be something with Neil Young right now, I'm thinking.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. And we're talking Neil Young and Crazy Horse, not Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Yeah, no, we're talking about like straight Neil Young, like
cool. Okay.
Neil Young on the Run.
All right, there you go. You can, you know what? Ponder that. I'll go to the next question. You change your mind, but we'll go with Neil Young. That works. Okay, so now we'll go more recent. What song, other than your own, that came out in the last year, really got your attention?
Oh, Paul by Big Thief. Big fan. Right. And this is like recent stuff? Or Yeah, I'm a really big Thief fan. I think that
Wow.
song's fantastic. Not she, the whole band is like
The whole band, yeah.
really fantastic.
It's funny. The album that got my attention this past year, I was kind of surprised because they kind of changed it up a little bit. Was Cage the Elephant? And I was already a fan.
Oh yeah, they're great. Yeah, definitely.
Really good.
And Iggy Pop was on that.
Yes, which I thought was like
Iggy fan. Ooh, actually, forget Neil Young. Let's go Stooges. Let's go Stooges. But man, what's I'm gonna sound so stupid right now. I want the Gimme Danger's on it. It's not the one where Bowie helped and mixed it, because even though I'm the biggest Bowie fan, like, I'd let Bowie like punch me in the face. I tell people all the time, I love Bowie so much. Like From the Dead, like punch me in the face. But I liked it when Iggy did the mixing, not Bowie. We have Stooges, Gimme Danger's on that. Wow. We have something dog. Oh my gosh, I'm making myself look awful right now. If one of my friends see this, they're gonna be like, loser. I'll think about it some more. But,
no, the fact that you just pulled the Stooges out, I just went, whoa.
Big fan. Iggy Pop and Chris Isaak might be my favorite like male voices, I think.
You're talking about two of the more underrated people in very different genres, but both
Iggy Pop
incredible.
Is definitely underrated. I think he's so cool. Actually, I follow one of his Instagram accounts. I'll send it to you after this. It's him and his parrot. And it's like just videos of him and his parrot on his shoulder, and it's amazing. The guy's awesome.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Iggy's always been out there, but I love him for it. That's the thing I love about Iggy Pop.
Actually, there's a movie called, which I think I'm probably wrong in this, but I'm pretty sure they based it off of the whole like Bowie Iggy deal. It's called The Velvet Goldmine.
Okay, I've not seen that.
I could get like totally shamed for this but personally, like the way I put it together, I was like, okay, I think Chris Wilde was the guy's name, was supposed to be kind of like an Iggy kind of person. Yeah, they kind of based that off. You should watch it. It's actually pretty weird, but good.
I like that. I'm definitely going to look that one up. Sticking on music, guilty pleasure song.
Guilty pleasure song. See, I'm so bad at these questions. Next time, send this to me before and choose it, so I can actually answer them. Probably like a Version by Madonna.
There you go. I would feel guilty liking that too.
I love that song.
It is a great song, but it's just sort of
great.
Yeah, if my friends found out, they'd be like, "You, Madonna, really?"
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Let me think. What else? Do you really wanna hurt me?
Culture Club. I don't feel
like
so guilty about that. I think
actually, I think my dad, he used to be like, "Oh, I hated Culture Club." I think recently he's like, "Shit, their stuff was actually pretty good."
See, and age as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I still will trump your dad by saying, "Look, Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John and ELO. That's pretty guilty."
That's pretty guilty, but pretty awesome too. That's
Thank
funny.
Thank you. I feel better.
My dad said that. He said, "Yeah, there's someone that listens to the same stuff as me."
Okay, a couple more random shots. If you were to go out on tour, now I happen to know your love for Chris Isaak, but I also found out you have a love for a British band called the Jesus and Mary Chain, who I think were an amazing band.
The drum beats, the drum, so awesome and cool in their interviews too. I like watching them because they're super they don't say too much. They kind of they're cool. Yeah.
But these are two very distinctively different bands. But if you can only choose one to tour with, who do you choose, Isaac or the Jesus and Mary Chain?
Chris Isaak. If we could just Chris Isaak, but like in his 20s, because who knows?
Of course, yeah. Every woman wants Chris Isaak in his 20s. I wonder why.
Isaak. It's so funny. My dorm when I was at school, because I went to school up in New Hampshire, it's a bunch of Chris Isaak posters everywhere. It was so dorky. Love him. I'm one of those people. Yeah.
Oh, look, dorky is when all of a sudden you meet Chris Isaak and you jokingly go, "What a wicked thing to do."
So good. Actually, the best I think is Graduation Day is a really stellar song, because so many people get stuck on that song, Wiki Game, and then they don't dive into it. I'm like, Graduation Day, and then Something Funeral is super dope too.
I always got into
Walking Down There is one of my favorite lyrics. Like some of my favorite lyrics are in that song for sure.
I think the song that always got me was "Baby Did a Bad Bad Thing." Just the way he said it in that
There's
song.
There's videos actually of me as a little girl with my dad, because my dad's a really big Chris Isaak fan, and my dad grew up in Memphis. He was like around the blues and stuff, and so I grew up. But for some reason he loves that, so I would grow up with a bunch of he just maybe did a bad thing. And you get like popular. And then there's also there's also that one song with Big Todd and the Monsters.
Big Head Todd and the Monsters, great
Big
band.
Head Todd and the Monsters, yeah, definitely. Yeah. They had a great. I went to a concert at House of Blues and saw them like 3 years ago, I think. Great. 2 years ago, but they have that one song where I can't remember. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's like boom, boom. I don't know. I'll send that to you too.
Yeah, that one. That one we're gonna have to ponder later.
Yeah.
Being from Texas, is the South by Southwest Festival so important at some point for you to be a part of, or have you been a part of it yet?
I think it would be cool. I grew up going to ACL since I was like teeny bopper. I think I'd love to play. I think it would be, but also I've been to it so many times that I don't think it would be weird. Austin City Limits, like playing
Austin City. I know what you're talking about.
That would be really special for me. Mm-hmm. That would be really special for me. But I've been to it so many times. It's a good friend of mine's like parents. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Austin City Limits would be more like I did it.
No, I totally get that. Yeah. And one more random shot, only because you are from Texas. I have to ask the question. Don't tell me you root for the Dallas Cowboys. Please don't tell me this.
I don't.
Oh, thank God!
I don't. I mean, like, I'm like the kid in the fit. I just like, I don't. And I get like hate from it from the family at the Thanksgiving dinner table. And I'm going to get hate for it because I'm like, but I don't know. My brother was a football player. I'm more like, wow. But I grew up like going to so many football games and it killed it for me, man. I can't. Texas football. It's
funny you mentioned that.
Friday Night Lights. I'm like,
that's what I was about to ask that. Because
it really is, yeah.
A buddy of mine was doing radio in the Dallas area. He was actually living up in Calhoun County. He was living in McKinney, Texas.
Yeah.
And within the last few years, they had built this huge stadium, which was holding like 24,000 people. And he was telling me, oh, this is for the 4 high schools in the area. I went to say what?
Stupid. Personally, like, I think I love sports. I played sports. I love lacrosse. I love rugby. Like, all that stuff. Like, love watching basketball. I mean, I love football too, to a certain extent. I've just been too around it my life. And
I get you.
And I think some of the high schools in Texas should honestly, I don't mean to be the person who's like, they should put more money into the arts, but they should. I'm like, these kids, they have some great country voices. Like, you could have some great country stars coming out of here, just like kids. It's too much football, and it's like, yeah.
Alex, you may be the one that has to break the cycle and draw 24,000 people to a concert. There you go. And then they would bring to the arts.
I know. Maybe. I think I'm going to do that.
Alex McArtor's got 2 EPs that have already come out. She's got 2 songs that have been out within the last month. One, Christian, let's put the photo up again so people know about it. House on the Bay is the one that just came out. There is a link that you will find here on this podcast that you can click on after we're done. You can take a listen to House on the Bay and enjoy that. The other song is called Biggest Fan. And ironically, it's a song that sounds like she's the biggest fan of Jesus and Mary Chain. If Jesus and Mary Chain and Mazzy Star came together, that's what you get in Biggest Fan. That's
a big compliment because I love both of them so much.
But that it tells. You can tell your musical influence is coming out in that song.
Definitely.
And I think that's yeah, and
that was one of the early songs. I wrote that about ACL actually when I was there. Yeah.
So now we got 2 more songs out. So there'll be a full-length album coming out as well.
Yeah. Right now, I'm in the creating the next EP. Right now, which I'm really excited about. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a storyline. I'm excited for it.
Sure. Very cool. Well, I'll tell you what.
David Lynchy.
Ooh, all right. You got my attention. There you go.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of writing to that. Yeah.
Well, hopefully when you get on the road, we will do this again.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
In a few months. Yeah, we'll definitely get together and we'll do another podcast. Hopefully sit down before a show. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Alex McArtor, best of luck. Congratulations on the success so far at 18.
Thank you.
This is a good ride so far. Like you said, hopefully you will be in your 70s like Mick Jagger, standing on stage and go, hey, look at everybody, how are you?
Yeah, Godspeed. And then shoot the finger at all of them and be like, nothing's changed.
That's a wrap for this week on the A Game. Again, find Alex's new song on the link here on this podcast. We'll be back next week with people who are just simply they're bringing their A game. Until next week, Alex, thanks again. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye.